The honeymoon is over. The right is already attempting to eat itself. Elon Musk, the target now because he supports H-1B visas. But folks, we're here to tell you that from our vista, it looks like the corporations have been the bad guys all along. We'll tell you how Disney is connected in a way that you would have never, ever guessed. And we'll tell you why we think gaslighting is what's really going on here. Explaining what's going on in politics and entertainment, all in one video right now. Hello, folks, and good evening if you're watching this video at the time of release. Good morning if you're watching it, well, during the morning, and good every other time of the day, depending on when you decide to join us. Joining us today is Ron E. Bradley from Follow the Bradleys Fun. Ron, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing tonight?
I'm having a good time. Folks, it turns out that the right has been winning for all of a month and a half, and already the fractures, the fissures are beginning. But we are here to set the record straight, and folks, we're here to tell you that you're right. Yes, you're right. No matter what you believe, you're right. We'll prove it. And we'll tell you why there's someone wrong in all of this that you might not have thought all along. We'll explain in just a moment. First, though, let's get to it. The H-1B visas, that is the topic of today, and it has a huge impact on Hollywood entertainment and beyond. We'll show that to you right now. This is an article out of Deadline by Ted Johnson, and came out today, just a few hours ago at the time that we're recording. It says that pretty much sums it up. Elon Musk defends H-1B visas amid split between Trump tech bros and MAGA. Right. All right, let's scroll down, folks, because we're going to show you that we're right. Take a look at this. This is the paragraph that proves to you this is the place for this kind of a discussion. The use of H-1B visas has long been a flashpoint among Trump supporters. During his 2016 campaign, Trump bashed the use of highly skilled foreign workers, and as the Florida primary approached, he cited the Walt Disney Company. There we go again. As a case in point, the year before, some 250 Walt Disney World IT workers were laid off, and their jobs transferred to foreign workers who obtained visas and were recruited by contractors. In other words, it was a cost-saving measure to get rid of the people who had been working for Disney on IT. Disney figured out that they could use the H-1B visa system to, what would you say, to go around the what should be appropriate, right? You probably should hang on to the people who've been working for you, but Disney as a corporation, they found loopholes, and then they subverted the intent of the H-1B, and so Trump criticized that. It says, that said, Trump at times appeared to soften his view, saying at the Florida primary debate that, quote, "We have to have talented people in this country," unquote. Disney at the time said that the incident got misconstrued because it was part of a reorganization and many of the workers got hired back. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but folks, if you're wondering, does this have anything to do with the stuff we cover? You bet. Let's go now to Newsweek. It says right-wing warfare pits big tech against MAGA over H-1B visas. This is from today. A heated debate within the Republican Party over highly skilled immigrants and H-1B work visas has broken out over this otherwise quiet holiday week, reflecting the deep divisions within both the GOP and the Trump base that turned out in force for him in November. On one side, we have Musk and Ramaswamy, who are taking a position when it comes to H-1Bs. And by the way, H-1Bs, the original intent and the most appropriate intent is to bring in the geniuses. Truly, that's the idea. It's to get the 0.1% of geniuses into the United States. On the other side, of course, we have Laura Loomer and others on the right who are not happy and don't want H-1Bs. And folks, we're here to tell you that no matter which side of this you're on, you're right. And here's why. Ron, I'll get your take on this in just a second. H-1B visas, when used in the right way, are wonderful. And so when Musk and Ramaswamy come out and say, we would like for geniuses to come to the United States, well, that's a wonderful thing indeed, because, Ron, we want geniuses here. Folks, let me ask you this. Would you rather have the geniuses be in other places or be in your country? Would you rather have a disproportionate number of incredibly intelligent people building your economy here, or would you rather these companies be sending them out to China? That's the question.
Yeah.
However, Ron, If you're on the side of saying, well, the H-1B visas, they're taking jobs from Americans. Americans would do these jobs. Well, if you look at what Disney did, you're right as well. It turns out, Ron, in my opinion, my estimation, and you punch holes in this if you need to, but turns out to me, it looks like this is being simplified into a binary black versus white in order to drive a wedge between Elon Musk and the right. And I see that you might disagree. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. But I would just say to folks that I think this is being oversimplified. I think the bad guys are the corporations. The corporations that want to take this and use this for purposes that it was never intended to be. And that is what we must refocus, I think, our intent against corporations using loopholes to make this into something it should not be. In other words, if you want to talk about H-1Bs, folks, it's time to put away the swords. It's time to stop taking the torches towards Elon or towards those who are hesitant to go for this. And instead, it's the corporations we need to go after and say, we will do the H-1Bs. We will bring in the geniuses to run the AI code and the entertainment, the 3D animators, the geniuses who can do things beyond what most people can do. But corporations, you're going to be held to account. You're not going to use this as a substitute in order to get very high-skilled workers very cheap and kick Americans out of it. Ron, what say you?
Yeah, this is an interesting subject to me just because I have personal friends. For example, I have a friend from the UK who was brought into the United States, worked for Microsoft in Virginia on an H-1B visa. This is several years ago because he's an expert in his field of what he does in computing. I don't know exactly what it is. It might even involve government work, but that is the intended purpose. And I can also see this being used in entertainment. Obviously, we have a lot of entertainers from different parts of the world that come in and work on different things, from Australia, from the UK, from Canada. So it's a necessary visa to have out there. But I remember because I was an employee, I was a cast member of the company when this happened with Disney, and it was horrible at the time, the way basically it was being used as a loophole to get some cheap workers in. The worst part of that whole situation is that when those new foreign workers were brought in, the current workers who were in the midst of getting laid off had to train them how to do their jobs. You're like, wait a second, I'm staying on to get fired to train somebody how to do the job I'm getting fired from. This is a situation where what I would hope from this is that perhaps this can be a law, this can be a type of visa that is looked at and possibly reworked so that maybe they can withdraw, like lower out, get rid of some of the loopholes, because obviously, as if you're a United States citizen, you want people to come in and do great jobs, do great work here, do the things that, if we cannot find somebody to do the job here to the best degree that it can be done, then we want to pull from everywhere. We live in a global society, global economy. That's great. But you also don't want to abuse the system. And that's what it sounds like has been done in certain situations with these corporations, like the Disney example. That's a perfect one. I'm sure it's been done by other corporations as well. Hold
on just a second, Ron. I want to get you on the record. I got to hold you to the fire here. Feet to the fire. Ron, am I wrong in saying that everybody is right and that ultimately this is the corporations gaslighting the factions within the right into a war against each other, and that in reality it's the corrupt corporations that took this and made this into a maligned sort of enterprise, when the reality is, I think almost everybody, if you said, hey, would you like to have all of the geniuses from the world, as many as we can get who have good values, would you like to hoard them in the United States and build a super economy based on having all the geniuses, when the other countries are saying, please, please, we want our geniuses back? And the U.S. is like, well, we're the greatest and the best, and so we'll take them. Thank you very much. I think, Ron, it's the corporations who used this and corrupted it, and we need to cleanse that. That needs to be fixed.
Yes.
We can't do it anymore. Ron, am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think you're 100% right on this, and it's not just the thing about the corporations coming in, the leaders of the corporations, and those who want to look. Let's take Disney just for example. We know that Iger is no fan of Trump. Okay, let's be honest. We know that there's a long-standing record of that being the case, and Iger is part of the media. They own ABC. Disney owns ABC. As a matter of fact, there's a huge rivalry right now between those two. They are coming in, and I think that it's not just this, but they would use anything they can to drive a wedge between Trump and Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, anyone on his team. Trump is very unique right now because he has brought in a coalition of people that clearly do not necessarily think the way he does, and that in itself is genius. I just heard today that there are discussions even to bring Bill Gates to Mar-a-Lago for discussions, because that's the kind of person that Trump is. He's willing to do what other quote unquote Republicans, I say quote unquote because I feel like he operates as Trump rather than just a party guy, right? So he's willing to do the work that other presidents in general party haven't been able to do, and bring different factions together. And of course, who wouldn't want that if they're not happy with the way things went in the election?
Well, Ron, let me throw this idea to you, and you tell me what you think about it. It seems to me to the people on the right that they finally got the win they've been looking for. Even when the conservatives have wanted to win, and it seemed like they won, they often have uniparty leaders who come in, and they really, some people call them neocons. What do you want to call these people? And some people say it's the uniparty. Okay, so the right now has a legitimate win in a way that they perhaps have not had since Ronald Reagan. And I'm not trying to say that Trump is Reagan or Reagan is Trump. I'm trying to say that in terms of this is a legitimate person who actually believes in the things that they said they believe in. Okay, so that's where the right is. The issue is, Ron, that just like in Star Wars, to use a bad analogy from fiction, the rebels have finally received the victory. What's happening now, I believe, Ron, and I don't want to malign anybody, so don't anybody take this to be a target at one individual. It's not. I'm speaking in generic terms here. But Ron, Trump and the rest, and Elon, and all of them, they're going to have to realize that there is some degree of faction within the rebellion, the right that has now taken control of the government. Some portion of that, they were part of the rebellion. They were part of the attack against the system and the machine because that's all they know how to do, because they're rebels, and they're not going to now join ranks. Like, all they know how to do is to grift and to be angry and to sow division. I don't think it's a huge part. I don't think it's even close to the majority. But Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to have to realize that there are some very abrasive individuals who are going to continue being abrasive. They don't know how to do anything else. It's all they've ever known. And so to succeed, they're going to have to understand how to escape that and not be pulled into it, I believe. And I'm not saying Musk and Trump are perfect by any means, but I think that's going to be a dynamic that we have to pay attention to. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are that that is true on the one hand. On the other hand, at least these are two men who seem to have their faculties available and capabilities to actually do something like that. Neither one of them, if they're going to be undermined, they might be undermined by each other. They're not going to be undermined by a bunch of puppeteers that we may have had in the last 4 years. I can't speak for what I don't absolutely know, but it certainly appeared that we had a leader that wasn't necessarily in control of everything that went down at the White House. And it's going to be a completely new dynamic. It's a tremendous paradigm shift, I believe, that we are experiencing and are literally in the midst of right now as this transition takes place between now and the 20th of January, and then really ongoing after that. So I'm very interested just in to see how this all plays out. I have a great deal of respect for both those gentlemen and everybody that's involved, because they are doing things that I certainly am in no position to be able to do, and a lot of things that I don't know about. But I think as Americans, we don't really have much of a choice right now. We have to put our faith in the system, see what happens, and that's why every 2 years there's some set of big elections, and every 4 years there's a bigger election. And if we don't like the way things have gone, we just change course again.
That's right. And can the right survive the rabble rousers? Well, folks, we will see. I hope that they can. I will say this, though, before we can, the H-1B visas. Remember, folks, as we said here, and as you probably have not heard anywhere else, you're right, no matter what the position is. No, we should not be kicking Americans out of jobs, but also no, we should not have a reverse learn how to code where we say, hey, you who do not want to do programming, you must, because we won't hire the geniuses and bring them in. No, folks, I want to hoard the geniuses all for ourselves. It's selfish, but true. Bring me the geniuses so long as they're good, kind people, and give the jobs to Americans. Let's do both if possible. And remember, this video, I hope, shows you and proves to you, going right back to Disney once again, it's the corporations who are the bad guys. Folks, click the like button. Help us be the good guys who get this out there, and let's put an end to the gaslighting. We can stomp this fire out and get a fire back in the belly of those who wish to make America wonderful again. See what I did there? Folks, you can also make your life wonderful by getting over there to Ron E. Bradley and follow the Bradley's Fun. Ron, tell the folks out there about your channel.
My channel, Follow the Bradley's Fun. We are a family channel, and we have a lot of fun together, but also we talk about pop culture, theme park, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld news, and events. And we're honest about what we see. If we like something, it's an honest take. And if we don't like the direction something is going, we'll be honest about that as well. And I also do a show every morning called The Daily Dish at 9:30, which will lead into Culture Casino, That Park Place, WDW Pro, and the whole day.
How dare you not get the name right? It's one thing you've got to do, Ron. Folks, it's okay. Just call me
WDW Pro.
We're close personal friends, Ron. Just call me Pro. All right, folks, you know where to go. Like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And yes, this might be one of the most incendiary videos we've done. It will be interesting to see what the audience says back to us. Can we create a cohesion here and identify the true villains and evildoers, aka Disney and the corporations? We shall see. Comment down below. Let us know. Are we wrong? Are we right? Is everyone right? It'll be all right, folks. We want to hear all of your opinions, no matter what they might be. And folks, as we always say, as we end these, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Hey, Floral. I just wanted to let you know I have a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Although I don't want to say it. It might be like a wish. If I speak it, I'll break it.
Usually a resolution is spoken out loud so you can be held accountable to it. Like, my resolution is to go to thatparkplace.com and be ready to see its new facelift, and to make sure I'm always subscribed to guys like Jonas and Pro, Culture Casino, Lorena Creole, John Trent, all of them.
Well, I actually got Slade Wilson to also make a resolution.
What's that?
I'd get in too much trouble if I repeated it. He took it way further than I feel comfortable repeating.
Well, that's probably a good call. But, what's yours?
It's not to say anything mean about Jonas.
How do you plan to do that? You're an idiot.